Thursday. I devised something particularly unpleasant tonight. Calculated cruelty. Cruel enough to send even the most hardened stomach retreating in defeat. It amused me to imagine your expression when you encountered it. You would, I thought, be particularly unamused. The boys had been assigned to the task of dehydrating slugs. Not with spell work. No, this would not be convenient or clean. Each was given nothing more than a rolling pin, a wooden rack, and a heap of fat, glistening carcasses. Their instructions were simple. Extract every last drop of moisture. All of it. The innards, the bile, the stringy remnants of whatever foul vegetation the creatures had last consumed, all pressed, all squeezed, until the bodies lay like scabs upon the racks. I claim this was for future use. There is truth enough in that, though one rarely finds the need for such a quantity of desiccated slugs in brewing. The real motive was simpler. I wanted something foul enough to linger, something you would not shake off, no matter how quickly you sought the sanctuary of your library, a scent that would linger in your thoughts long after you had left my presence. By the time you arrived, the air was nearly unbreathable, sour and thick with the stench of rot and decay, so pungent it seemed to seep into every pore on the skin. The boys were coated up to their wrists in yellow slime, their fingers shining slick with the stuff. It oozed into the cracks of their nails, soaked into their cuffs and permeated into their very hair follicles. Each time the rolling pin struck, there came a muffled squelch, followed by the nauseating slurp of liquid forced free. I leaned back in my chair, fingers laced over my chest, watching and waiting. Quill abandoned for once, eyes fixed on the door, anticipating, and then there you were. You froze on the threshold. I saw it all in the span of a second. The sharp intake of breath, the wrinkle of your nose, the soft, betraying sound of a gag swallowed before it could escape. Almost better than I had imagined. You hesitated, weighing your errand against the assault of the fumes. I half expected you to turn and leave, but no, you stepped inside. Defiance in every line of your posture, head lifted high as though sheer willpower could purify the air. You moved more quickly tonight. No lingering stroll between the work tables, no indulgent survey of their suffering. You circled wide around the boys, your stride purposeful, direct. You made for my desk in a determined arc. I told myself it was not me drawing you nearer, but your instinct to flee the stench. And then you looked, not just at me, but at the scene I had orchestrated. You assessed it, sharply, silently. For the briefest of moments I caught it. The faintest tilt of your mouth, not revulsion, something else. Approval, amusement, the smallest glimmer of respect, perhaps. It was enough to make my stomach tighten in some unhelpful, unconscious way, infuriating in its subtlety. I watched as your eyes flicked to the boys. They had faltered, their hands stilled on the rolling pins, uncertain whether to gawk at you or at me. You smirked, as if you saw poetic justice in their misery. For a long moment we both stared at one another, a silent draw. The playing field was even. The undercurrent between us was palpable, sharp enough that even they sensed it. Their eyes darted nervously between us, wide and suspicious. I snapped them back to their task with a single word. The squelch resumed. Your eyes watered then. I could not be certain whether the fumes were to blame or my company. I allowed myself the indulgence of believing it was both. You did not linger. You never do when you suspect I've claimed the upper hand. Still, as you passed through the door, I caught it, the faintest curl of your lips. Disgust mingled with reluctant admiration. a combination more intoxicating than any potion I could ever brew. I remained at my desk long after you were gone, breathing in the foulness as though it were victory itself, because that is what this has become, a contest, a battle of wills played out in silence, in glances, in the smallest shifts of expression, and I have no intention of losing.